How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology. Here talking about this Pluto retrograde in the next couple days leading up into this full moon in Aries. It's kind of interesting because we have the moon in Capricorn conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn, and as Pluto retrograded from April at 20 degrees to 16 degrees Capricorn, we saw a lot of the Pluto energy more along the lines get involved with our internal selves. Now, Pluto rules deep transformations, peak felt experiences. I like to look at it as this guy in the background of the universe slowly tearing away the reality for, five-dimensional stuff to come in, for new insights. It's like, when people say, we're going through this consciousness shift, I think a lot of it is Pluto doing this slow and very steady work, however, really doing a big job as far as gaining new insight through mass, I don't want to say destruction, however, a positive, more along the lines of destruction. It's like it ruins things for the good. Things suck, things get ripped away, new realities get shown to you, and you have to kind of go through this transformation process in order for you to really understand the Pluto energy and for you to really embrace it and use it in your everyday life. So, for example, Pluto's been in Capricorn now, since 2008, and Pluto with Capricorn, it's like all about this government, the rules, taxes, regulations, all this Capricorn stuff, and as we apply it to our inside of ourselves rather than just, on the outside, Pluto's really about getting our shit together. What are we going to be, not necessarily what are we going to be known for as far as like our legacy and that kind of Capricorn energy, however, more along the lines of what are we doing? Do we have a foundation? What do we want to set ourselves on? And with Pluto transiting Capricorn, it's kind of like all the things that, we want to do of success, and maybe even having a legacy or whatever your desires are along that Capricorn energy of basically getting your shit together, having, your money straight, having a good reputation, not having anything bad, and putting in that feminine energy of trust and love and intuition into it rather than, blocking out the feelings. And as Pluto goes through Capricorn, it is a little bit of a ride. It takes, Pluto anywhere from 12 to 16 years to go through a sign, depending on which sign and where it's at, because Pluto has that weird, rotation around the sun. However, as Pluto's been retrograde, it's been bringing a lot of that energy onto the inside. It's been about, okay, if I want, this and that or the other, I have to go through this transformation process of completely, re-identifying who I am, completely shifting the way I thought things were going to look. And Pluto in Capricorn is really, kind of scraping away of like, dude, it's not going to look that way. It's not going to look that way. It's not going to work out the way that you might have planned. Plans don't always go through. It's always about setting the intention. And that's what Pluto's all about, is making sure that your intention is clear on where it is that you want to go, because it's going to be ripping apart certain areas of life. It's going to be transforming different views. It's going to be, really expanding and looking at all the details with it. And as Pluto's been retrograde, it's been like, holy shit, I gotta take a look at myself. It's like from April to now, it's been mostly about what can I change about myself? What can I really dig the root? It's kind of like if you're, digging for weeds or whatever. You can't just, hoe the weed or dig the weed out of the ground. You got to make sure you get all the roots so it doesn't grow again. And Pluto and Capricorn's all about pulling out those roots, as all the ones that are cemented in there, all the, beliefs and all of the opinions of whatever it is that you have about you or yourself. It's been very, very much locked down and cemented in there like the foundation of a building. And Pluto going through here, it's just slowly but surely taking out one root at a time, making us look at, things through a really, really bigger view and making sure that we have our, shit together, our feet on the ground. And as the moon conjuncts Pluto today, it then goes direct. Pluto's now putting this force on the outside. Now, when a planet goes retrograde, it brings everything internally. And Pluto, being along with Uranus and Neptune, more along the lines rules the collective consciousness. However, when you start to see how this, when Uranus affects society and Neptune affects society and the government, and Pluto affects the government and, industry and all that kind of stuff. And as you see Pluto going through all this stuff, you could really see it in your outside world and society, and how the ever so subtle beliefs shift and change. However, as Pluto goes direct now, it's like all this work that we've been doing on ourselves, all of this transformation, pulling down the roots, it's like it's not so much coming from us. It's more like now we have to go pick the roots. We have to really change the way that we go about and do things. Pluto going direct, and this is what I really wanted to talk about, is because the moon conjuncts here. I think it's really awesome that the moon, right before it hits Pluto, Pluto goes direct. So it's like they're doing this, and then all of a sudden Pluto, or the moon's moving Pluto forward and putting our emotions into, you know, what do we want to build? What do we want to achieve? What do we want to see for ourselves? What is right for us? And this is why I love Capricorn energy, because it's not even about what logically makes sense, what looks good on paper. This is all about trusting your intuition. You meet a Capricorn, they'll make a decision based off their intuition more than if the money and magic, or the money, you know, makes sense, or all the papers add up and stuff like that. Capricorn is a feminine energy. This is all, it's opposing Cancer, so it does come from an intuitive state. However, it just does it in a really weird, in a really, you know, unorthodox way. However, as the moon goes through, it's going to be, you know, kind of like, if you want things to look that certain way, if you really want to have that foundation, you know, that strong stability in your life, you kind of have to let it go. You kind of have to be okay with not having a steady ground and things being shaky. And as the moon goes through, moon's going to go over Neptune, and right now Pluto is trining Mars and Venus, so this is really good for bringing that self-love into play and starting taking action on it, doing things differently, doing things more concisely and more correct, I should say, or not correct, more effective. And as the moon goes through Neptune, which Neptune and Pluto are sextiling, so it makes this a really emotional deal. Neptune and Pisces is like, fuck, nothing makes sense, but yet it's like you can sometimes reach this state of nirvana where it's like, I've never been so centered and in control ever before in my life. And that's why Neptune just brings this kind of like illusion to things. And as the moon conjuncts Neptune, Neptune's also retrograde, bringing its all of its energy on the inside. It's not like everything out here doesn't make sense, it's that we can't make sense of it. And as the moon comes right here, it's going to be a point where you're going to look at what you've been doing this today and yesterday when the moon went into Capricorn, or honestly the whole moon, the whole lunar cycle that we've been going through since the new moon in Virgo. However, once the moon goes onto Neptune and starts conjuncting it, it's going to bring an emotional awareness to here, having us look at, you know, does this make sense? Is this in alignment with us? Are you even more confused? And when you're in that confusion state, that's where all that insecurity is going to come from. Where as far as I was talking about getting your, you know, ground straight, having your feet really planted. When you're confused, you're not going to feel grounded or feel like you have balance at all. And however, if you're in alignment, if you're in tune to what is going on, maybe you don't understand everything that's going on the inside, but that's okay. It's just about trusting your gut and trusting your intuition and going with. As the moon conjuncts Neptune, it's going to be a big look at that until the moon conjuncts Chiron. And as the moon conjuncts Chiron, it's going to be like basically like if you did it right or not. When the moon conjuncts Chiron, it's like this is either going to be avoided. All the emotions are going to, you're going to want to repress and again avoid, you know, whatever, through whatever mechanism that you choose to do. However, when you take a look at yourself, you take a look at, you know, what does need healing, and even though it's going to bring pain, it's kind of like, well, you know, if you don't have insurance, but you just, you know, shattered your arm, for example, it's kind of like, well, I can deal with the pain because I don't have the money to go to the doctor. You don't have health insurance, or you can just suck it up and get healed. So, you know, next year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 years down the road, you're okay and you don't have to live with that for the rest of your life. And the moon conjunct Chiron is going to be about really stepping into it and, you know, feeling the pain in order to heal. And then boom, the moon's going to go into Aries. We're going to have the full moon. This is all about that self-liberation, about getting really, you know, really hyped up on yourself, just getting confident, you know, being in all that empowerment. And then the moon will then conjunct Uranus, bringing that liberation, having that freedom. It will be such an inspiring full moon in Aries, because as we feel it, you know, the sun's going to be in Libra. It's like things are finally chilled out, things are finally calmed down. Let's embrace our power, let's get it, you know. And as the moon conjuncts Uranus, it's like just full on, you know, feeling it all. And then we have Pluto squaring Uranus. Now, Uranus will go back into 26 degrees Aries as the Pluto is 16 degrees Capricorn, making it a really weak square. However, this Pluto-Uranus square is going to make it very, very challenging. Now it's time to put what we've been feeling, all of our passion, all of our energy, it's time to, you know, put it to use. It's time to make something out of it. And it may be a little bit hardcore. You're going to have to, you know, take some feedback. You are going to have to look at yourself yet again on this powerful, powerful level, and especially your views on whatever it is going on in the world. I guarantee with Uranus square Pluto, we're going to be changing. You'll hear so many changes about, oh, this is happening instead of this, or now the you know, consensus agrees with this idea rather than this idea. And it's going to be based on, you know, all these, you know, political things and what people are truly feeling, because this is Uranus and Aries, and Pluto and Capricorn dealing with the government, and then dealing with the self-image of what we all feel like and how we identify in our society. However, when Uranus squares Pluto, it's time to get serious about what we felt, about, you know, what we have been feeling with all this Aries energy since, you know, April, or I mean, since April and then into May, when we had all the Gemini energy and the Aries energy all sextiling each other. It's going to bring all that, and it's like, you got to start making very, very serious decisions, very, very serious actions with it. And it is going to call up a lot of your energy. However, I'm always sending you guys lots of love, lots of white light, lots of abundance as usual. However, you have to go to the belief, you know, go back to your subconscious, go back to that belief of yourself when the moon conjuncts Neptune, and you have to really go, do I trust the process? You know, do I trust myself? Do you feel in alignment? Get out of an unhealthy environment. Get out of something that's not serving you. Don't regret this. You know, this is why, you know, astrology is so kick-ass, because it's just like every single day you get you get an opportunity to change something radical in your life. And as the moon conjuncts Neptune, you get this opportunity to really look at everything and go, you know, is this what I feel? Is this what I want? Do I want to keep moving forward? Or is this not in alignment with me? Does this not feel correct? And it could be based off your environment, your friends, whoever it is that you're around you. You know, your environment wins all the time. So get a winning environment. This is going to be highlighting a lot of that. And as far as, you know, what you want to build, what you want to create, you may not be in that right space. Whatever that situation looks like to you, just take a big look at it and make sure that you are in alignment with the actions that you're doing, and you are, you know, in agreement with it, and that you're not going against whatever you know, it is that you truly want, because your subconscious can definitely self-sabotage you by, you know, you want all these things, but your subconscious is telling you, no, 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 you don't believe in that, you're not worthy of that, you're not capable of that, and X, Y, and Z. However, if you just, you know, get in alignment with yourself, tap into your higher self, you know, meditate, listen to music, you know, jog, work out, whatever it is that gets you feeling like your inner God, that's what you want to be channeling this week. And as the moon, you know, we have this full moon in Aries, it's going to be that time to really take off with it and to start putting a lot of action to it. And we're going to start seeing this a lot more as the year goes on, especially once Saturn goes into Capricorn and then Saturn conjuncts Pluto. This is going to be something we're dealing with for the next couple years. So this just mind that it's going to be pretty intense. So that's what I got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching all my videos, for commenting, subscribing, liking, sharing. Follow me on Facebook at White Light Astrology. You know, subscribe to me on YouTube at White Light Astrology. Follow me on Twitter. I'm always talking about astrology there at White Light Cam, all cap locks. I am having a class about Jupiter going into Scorpio, learning about how we can manifest the best results, what it's going to take to really feel it, and really to purge all these beliefs that we may have about ourselves, and how to be really effective with this energy. That's going to be going on October 10th at Enchanted Forest Reiki Center, my bad. And that's going to be happening at 7 p.m. Tickets are online at their website or on their Facebook. The links are below. So again, thank you guys so much for everything that you do. Always sending white light, always sending abundance, and I will be seeing you in a few days for your What the Heck is Going On in the Universe Weekly.